Hello, movement family. I am in front of this beautiful grave, which just so happens to be right in front of the ocean. This is some of the most expensive real estate in Costa Rica, I'd imagine, but the dead are being honored here. So I am in a graveyard right now, and it is the Celtic season of Samhain. We are halfway between the fall equinox and the winter solstice. This is the point where days are starting to get shorter and shorter, and the year is coming to a close. 6 months prior, we had Beltane, which was the peak of spring. Everything was just erupting with life and vibrancy and sexuality and sensuality. Shoots poking up through the earth, baby birds everywhere. On the flip side of the coin, the opposite side of the wheel of the year, now we have just as much energy, just as much power present. This is a portal time, right? Except it's in the other direction. In spring, the portal opens, really the womb portal, birthing new life. And now, again, the portal opens, but this time it's to accept the ultimate offering of life, the essential offering of life, really what's argued among many spiritual traditions to be the purpose of spiritual practice, which is to practice for our own death, to become comfortable with fear, to become comfortable with the unknown, to become comfortable with our own mortality. In this portal, it's said that the veils between the world are thin. So there is deeper access at this time to the other realms, whatever that means for you. One thing that means for all of us as humans with bodies is that we have ancestors. And that doesn't just have to mean our blood DNA ancestors. It also means the ancestors of the land we live on. It can mean ancestors who are teachers in lineages in which we practice. And there's a difference between the dead and ancestors. So when we are doing ancestors work, it's always nice to be clear that we're calling on well ancestors. So the well ancestors are those who have done their work in their human form. They did their work, they fulfilled their soul calling, they came with a purpose, as we all do, and they worked through the challenge and the striving and the suffering, even to offer and deliver their gifts to the world in service, as we're all in an attempt to do. So these are incredible allies that are available to all of us. I bought a tree for my new home just this week, and the roots were, it was laid out because it took me a few days to plant it in my yard, and my partner said, we got to plant that tree because when the roots are exposed to the air, they die. And this is the same with us. When we're disconnected from our roots, when we're disconnected from the earth, there are parts of us that are unnecessarily suffering. There are parts of us that feel just innately and organically disconnected, feeling a lack of purpose, a lack of connection. Just existential crisis is just far more likely when we're disconnected from our roots. However, in the United States, it's a very common experience, whether our ancestors were brought here as slaves, whether our ancestors fled their countries, fleeing persecution. These are really common stories in the United States. And in general, colonialism has wreaked havoc on the unified connection of generation to generation living on the land in which our people originally lived on, right? So it can be hard to reconnect to our DNA lineage and to just the concept of ancestors feels really foreign for most of us. But there's an immense power and an immense healing that comes when we make a conscious effort to connect in. Whether that's through ancestral work, doing research about our lineage, whether that's through journey work and deep meditation or trance work, where we actually journey back to visit our well ancestors, journey back and back and back as far as we can go, as far as our unconscious mind will take us. Whether that's researching the people who lived on this land and seeking ways to honor them, or whether that's researching back through the lineage of your spiritual practice and finding a picture of any or all of these people or objects, or in the joy work, you'll see making a nature altar for the ancestors at this time is a powerful practice. And for our movement practice, one way that I recommend to deepen into the medicine of Samhain, which really invites us into the bravery of facing the truth that we're only here for a short time, that our day-to-day troubles, our day-to-day greed, that these things are impediments to fulfilling our purpose of being here, that we are actually in training as ancestors. We are actually here to become the well ancestors, cheering on our descendants as we create a world of harmony and peace. So I welcome you to practice this week in solar strength, in lunar flow, in your movement, in your walking, in your yoga, whatever it is. I encourage you to remember that your blood and bones and DNA are part of a magnificent line, and that your ancestors were human just like you. They had bodies, they were children, they grew into adulthood, they passed into elderhood, and ultimately they left and perhaps have come again as you, and perhaps we're just continuously in this cycle. And it's said that the ancestors look back, they're here, they're cheering for us, they're supporting us, they're holding prayers for our life. And we can do them honor, do them service by appreciating our life and appreciating our physical embodiment. So one simple way to invite the ancestors into your life this week, beyond creating an ancestor altar or doing some ancestral research or sitting and meditating and asking for blessings from your ancestors, is to, when you're moving, just appreciating your body. Maybe even imagining yourself as your great-great-grandmother, as your great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandmother, what that might look like, what that might feel like, and just really appreciating this short-lived experience that we have as a way of honoring those who've passed on. Happy Samhain. I'm so excited to do the deep shadow work with you these coming weeks, and to see you this Saturday at the workshop. So we're doing ancestor yoga this Saturday. I'll see you there. Blessed be.